Yo, it's that time again. The Zoo Sasquatch Vacation Contest is live. Take our sticker somewhere awesome. Beach, mountains, Disney, a trash can, it doesn't matter. Just make it epic. Send your pic to Andy at mattosdesigns.com by August 5th for a shot at $1,000 in prizes. Let's see where the Mattos crew ends up this summer. Now go get wild with it.
Yo, Brian, what's up?
What's happening, man?
We had a 50-second intro, and you still can't look at the screen when it starts.
No, I'm like a chicken with
else.
its head cut off, man. I swear to God. It's busy. Hi, everybody.
So how you been?
Tired. I need some of that. I need some Red Bull. Here we go. Well, it's
I
cherry lime.
actually just sent Elijah to the store to get me one of those because I was feeling so tired today.
Oh, did your son have you out fishing until 12:30 last night?
No, not at all.
Oh,
not at all.
I'm in the plus column on rainbow trout with him, so
I guess that's a good thing. So I guess before we talk about minis, because that's what we're talking with some great people today about minis. We should talk about how sad we are because we can't go to Expo.
I know.
There ain't no Expo.
Dude, that stinks. That really does. It was like finally for something else and not me.
Yeah. I'm super bummed. I'm not gonna lie. Like,
I am.
Expo, out of all the years we've gone there, is actually the only show that pays for itself.
Yeah.
Trans World, the big show, eventually pays for itself because we get really big clients and stuff like that. But Expo, usually by Friday night, we're break even.
Yeah.
We go to Florida, all these minis and stuff. Those people already buy from us, so we're just going to say hi and stuff like that. We're not going to go make sales. Not going to happen when we go to these things. But Expo, every single time it's paid for itself. And it may not have had a ton of people at them, but it had the right people. So it not being there, that kind of sucks,
Yeah.
We got a lot of, odd clients because of Expo. People we wouldn't have normally attracted because they're not on the Facebook. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And you get people from that area that, may not go to the, the trans worlds and, stuff like that. So, to see people in that area, like Dale, I love Dale to death. He's awesome. Looking forward to seeing him, meeting him. I haven't talked to him.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I got to call him. Something's wrong. I haven't talked to him in a week. Dale, dude, call me, man. But so
I was bummed.
It's terrible. The after hours, hanging out and seeing people, a lot of people that you haven't seen for the, forever or the first time. So
I was super excited because Expo this year was going to be one of those where it was in the same building that you stayed.
Yeah.
So it was the perfect after hours hangout that Expo's always been,
Yeah.
So it sucks. And it bugs me that there is people cheering that this happened. You know what I mean?
That's crazy.
That just drives me crazy that there is actual people that is excited that they helped kill Expo. You know what I mean?
That's sad. I mean, it really is. I mean, it's for the community. It's the DIYers, the residential people, for the community, for the classes that's being given. If it's, oh my gosh, I'm totally brain farting the name of it. The in-depth, 3-day class. Oh, what is it?
Intensives.
The intensives. Yeah, there we go. That's a big word for my small little brain. It's that kind of stuff that is being missed. I guess that's still going on, but all the other smaller classes that, people coming into the hobby, It's
Yeah,
just,
I was pretty bummed about the Expo thing.
sure.
Yeah, it's just a shitty situation that it died, and then that vendors who decided not to go gave lame excuses,
Yeah.
like the tariff thing. Like, come on, like, yeah, the tariff thing's a thing, but it's not making it so you don't go to an Christmas Expo.
It's
You know what I
not
mean?
it's not a deal breaker.
No,
So
like maybe they had like product delayed and they're not going to have it in time to have it at Christmas Expo, but like you could pre-sell it. Like we pre-sell a lot of things now.
yeah.
We rarely hit the date we say they're going to be delivered, but that's a problem we're working on. You know what I mean?
know. I have the
That is an
emails to
active
prove it.
problem we are working on. But it just
Yeah.
sucks that people didn't want to participate for other reasons. And I just think that's horrible.
Yeah.
And the community needs to do better and be better people than doing that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So how is you getting ready for your fishing camping excursion?
The truck. Oh, I forgot to send you pictures. My fishing pole rack and shelves that I made in the back of the Tahoe. Plenty of room. We got room for 4 coolers, fishing poles, wood if we need it. It's I ought to send you. I need to send you pictures. I'm really proud of myself. It's all rhino lined and nothing slides around. We checked it last night going through the curves of the mountains, and yeah, it was a good time.
Yeah.
So getting ready. Matter of fact, we're leaving 7 days. I think we're leaving Wednesday morning next week. 8 days.
Nice.
7 days in a wake up. How's that? That's my military term.
Yeah. No, John, I was super excited to meeting new people. Like that's half the fun at Expo is meeting all the new people,
Mm-hmm.
you know, that we haven't met, and the ones that we see yearly or sometimes 4 times a year, depending on how active they are going into events. But it's fun seeing those regular people every year and stuff like that. It just sucks. I'm sad. And it's not like, oh, there's the new East Coast Christmas show that's going to replace Expo. That's different. Like it's not the same deal. Like
Right.
East Coast Christmas show stays in the same place.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to probably see the same people every single year there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Expo moved every year, which was great because yes, we saw the same people, but then we also got new people that came just because it was close to them.
100%. Yeah.
People that don't travel, cities and stuff like that, that they only sent the guys that work for the parks department or whatever because they could drive to it that day during work. You know what I mean? That's not going to happen at the East Coast. They're going to do that one year and we're going to get the cities around there and then we're never going to see them again or anybody else. You know what I mean? That traveling show, like I'm supporting Expo in every way I can to make it happen next year.
100%.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it's a good show and it needs to happen. And I think other people that decided not to support it needs to step it up and get back on there because it's a good show and it's good for the community. Take your personal shit out of it. You know what I mean? And just think about the community for once and not your personal like beef, you know? Just worry about the community and what's good for everybody, you know, and quit worrying about whatever you think. You know?
Now Tom Stallings is going to start hounding me about Florida already. I can feel it.
Yeah, probably. But so we have our first guest for the day because we got a multi mini show. So let's run our intro and we'll get our first guy in here. What do you think?
That'll work.
All right. Wait, where's my intro?
Whenever you're ready.
Yeah, you know.
Recorded in front of a live studio audience.
This is a Matos Designs production.
And I am not done. Mark my word.
I like your line. I like your prices. There's a problem. There's no guarantee on the box.
You can't hang out with chickens and expect to soar with eagles.
I'm a who's back? Guess who's back?
An electrician got your light work.
And now your hosts,
JR and Brian.
Oh, we can handle it. We're professionals.
We can handle it, right, Brian?
Always.
Oh, we
Always
got a
and every
very
day.
special 2 mini episode today. We are going to recap 2 minis. One that happened a couple weeks ago, one that happened this weekend. But first, we're going to bring on one of the guys. I think he's the main guy. We'll figure that out once we talk to him. For the Frozen Mini, we're going to bring in Bill Wolf right now.
Hey, guys.
Hey, how you doing?
How's it going,
Great,
Bill?
you?
Good.
Nice to be in your studios here. It's very, it's pretty awesome.
Thank you. We try to make it as cool as possible.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining us. I know I tried to get you on last week, but you were still camping, relaxing after the Frozen
We
Mini.
were.
I get that. I totally get that.
Yeah, that's one of our specialties. I think uniqueness with our mini is that we combine that with camping and try to bring more of the family aspects into it. So when you reached out, we had finished the mini at that point, but then a number of us stuck around for a number of days to camp and hang out with the family, and it's all the fun stuff you could do camping. So
Yeah, no, that's cool.
very awesome.
I like the concept of it. I know we've talked before about it before the Frozen Mini kind of turned into what it turned into this year. I know a couple years ago at Trans World, we talked about it. And then we talked about me possibly going this year, but it just didn't work out with everything. But if I knew Expo was going to be canceled, it would have been easier to plan another trip.
well, there's always next year you can make it out.
Yeah.
So we'll love to meet you and have you hang out with us.
So first, let's tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I guess from a family aspect, I'm married and I've got 4 wonderful kids. I work in the IT field and industry there. So I have an IT background and been doing lighting probably about 6 years now in my house, and just kind of it started as a really nice, fun hobby, and it still continues to do so. We bring the family and the kids in and sit with the setup and design and sequence selections and things like that. So it's a fun but expensive hobby, but we certainly enjoy that. And then along with it, we've got to meet a lot of great people and make a lot of nice friends, both online and in person. And it really translates nicely to the whole mini aspect as well, of being able to actually finally get to meet those friends and colleagues in the space that we've been working with and chatting with for years.
Yeah, no, for sure. Minis are awesome. So you got to vacation a little bit after your mini, but how wrecked were you after? You got to be exhausted.
You know what? It was
glad it's done.
Yeah, it's kind of like I equate it to like Christmas, right? I mean, you got all the prepping and the planning and the anticipation of that Christmas morning when you get the kids around and you open up the gifts, and then when you're all done, you have all the wrapping paper and everything to clean up, and you just kind of decompress. I mean, there's a lot of moving pieces there. A lot of planning went into it and goes into these minis, and when it's done, you really need to have that time to decompress and just take a step back from it, really.
Yeah. One thing I liked you guys doing, not on our questions, just one of the things I noticed with the Frozen Mini, the promotions that you guys did by getting all the vendors that were going to make videos and stuff like that. That was awesome. That was cool.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, it was a new concept. I just thought, well, you know what? Let's see if I can have any vendors, do a video for us and just kind of do some of the promotion for us instead of just sending out postings or little graphics here and there saying who's going to be here. We want to drum up that excitement because a lot of the vendors, that's what the attendees want to meet, and seeing that they're going to be coming out to our mini brought in a lot of those additional attendees.
Yeah, that's
so
cool.
It was kind of a win-win on that.
Yeah, no, I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, no, thank you. So hopefully we'll be able to continue on that with that for next year and that trend. And I see some of the other minis are kind of doing some little video shorts as well there. So that's kind of neat to see that we may have actually had a good idea with that piece. So
yeah, no, I think it was a great idea. I think it was great.
Yeah, thank you.
That's great. So how has, I'm going to kind of back up a little bit going
Sure.
To the minis that you've had in the past. How has yours grown up there in Wisconsin since the first time you've had it, as far as like attendees, your class schedule, or the classes that you do?
Yeah, no, so that's a good question. So this will be about our third year that we've had the mini at the Ember Lodge, over there at the Bear Paw and the Jellystone Campground piece. This was the first year that we had expanded it to be a 2-day schedule. We weren't really sure if the attendees had the appetite to sit in for 2 days to talk, geek out about Christmas lights and decorations and things like that. But majority of all the attendees actually stayed for those full 2 days, and they really took advantage of all those sessions and stuff. So it was a pleasant surprise because what I did want to have happen is schedule it where we cram as much as we can in one day, and then you don't have that time for any of the fellowship or the meet and greets with the vendors and things like that. So so that was another concept we changed this year, was to expand it for those 2 days, and it worked out well. I mean, some of the attendance kind of dropped a little bit towards the end of the second day, but that's understandable. But all in all, everybody stayed there and was fully engaged those whole 2 times, or those days, I should say.
Nice. That was really cool.
Right.
So from running it and being your mini, how do you rate how the weekend went? From like 1 to I left my controller at home.
So is the 1 that I left the controller at home, or is the 5 where it went well?
Well, I guess
I didn't leave a controller at home. I brought extras, so I did have enough on hand if we needed.
You know what's funny is I wrote it as 10, and I don't know why I said 1. I was like, wait, what? It's either a 10 or I left my controller at home.
Yeah, you know what? I think overall it went very well. We had some learnings, this year that we're capturing a lot of the feedback from all the attendees. So we sent out the surveys and everything. I think overall it went very well. There was some stressful moments behind the scenes, I think, as we were just trying to work through some logistical challenges and paperwork on our side there. But I mean, overall, we adapted well. We got a great team that worked on it alongside with us, with me. And then I don't say it was 100% perfect, but it did very well, I felt.
Awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah. But we'll take those learnings and then we'll make changes and tweaks for next year on that. So it's constantly evolving and evolving process there.
Cool. So bringing your extra controllers and stuff with you, what kind of gear did you have set up? Props did you show off? Did you have a show and tell or anything?
But we brought in what we called room candy. So myself and Dalen, one of the other organizers that I work with hand in hand on that, we brought in a number of props just to kind of lighten up the room and everything. So we didn't have a whole stage production set up with props like some of the other minis that you've seen have done, but we brought in enough to kind of light up the room and just kind of anticipate, grow the excitement for the lighting and stuff for the attendees. So Dalen had 3D printed some talking faces and stuff that he's been developing. We had those out at the main entrance, just to kind of welcome. We had a sequence playing on it just to kind of welcoming to the attendees to the mini itself. And then in the room, my wife had done a gingerbread house conversion. So she took one of those little tyke houses and fully decorated it out. And we brought that over and set that up in the room. So we had a little bit more eye candy going on in that room. And just basically simple sequences that we just ran just to decorate the room. A lot of the vendors that we had, brought in their full setups and their tables. And so they had a lot of the other the room candy and the lighting to go on over there as well.
That's cool. That's really cool. So, did anything go wrong at this mini? Like, did anything not
On
go as
record, no,
planned?
nothing went wrong. I don't think. I reiterate, we had some learnings on that. So, I think there's some areas that, um, we're going to look to improve on. So, some of our check-in processes, I think we could have streamlined those to make it a little bit easier. The amount of food that we've set out there. So, this was also the first year that we were had food sponsorships from vendors. So we were bringing in breakfast and we were bringing in lunch, and then we also had for the first night there, like a pizza party that was also sponsored by another vendor.
No, you can say who it is. Give them credit. They paid for your stuff. You're totally.
Well, I got a whole long list there, so I could go through that.
You could talk about who paid for the meals and stuff. We don't care.
Okay, well that would be fine there. So I got to go make sure I don't miss out on anybody there. But we had Dancing Lights Design, BF Light Shows, Your Pixel Stores, Wally's Lights, and Experience Lights had all sponsored meals throughout our weekend there. And so trying to gauge, some of the learnings was trying to gauge, how much food we needed to provide out there, and the time of keeping that on the table there. So so that's an opportunity for us to improve upon for next season or next year. But we also had snacks that we provided. So we had little gift bags that we handed all the attendees, and we put all their snacks in mints and other little trinkets and things that are, either the vendor sponsored and provided, or we had done so ourselves, just to hand those out to the attendees, just to give them, who doesn't like a goodie bag, right? So,
yep. Sure.
So that was some of the other learnings, so I think like the check-in process, I think, how we were doing the registration for all the prizes, when we did the prize wheels and things like that. And this the meal delivery, and the amount that we put out there. But overall, that was probably the areas that we needed to work on.
Yeah. And the only reason I brought that up is like, we want other people to do minis. Like, if you don't have a mini close to you, do a mini. And the thing is you had some things not go perfect, right? And there's some things that changed, but that didn't change the overall experience people had. People still had a great time. And It wasn't like, it didn't hurt the mini that stuff wasn't perfect, So like, don't be scared to do your own mini somewhere,
No.
It's, everybody has their own things that go wrong.
Right. And it just have a good group, right? That you're organizing with. And that's what really makes the mini great.
Well, and that's perfect segue. What I was getting ready to ask was there anybody, I'm sure your committee, your group that was helping you with it was, you want to give shout outs to people helping you, or was there a particular person that you were like, damn, and they just knocked it out of the park with whatever they were setting up? So
yeah, I've got I got a long list of shout outs here though, but that everybody who was on the organizing team here, definitely a big shout out. So, that's my wife Gina, Dalen Velati, Matt Belkey, Jordan Nash came out to our mini as well, and he jumped in and offered to help out with some of our just like the planning, organizing it. So he was a tremendous help as well. Then we had Jason Trammell, who was another one of the help with the organizing of the mini, and then really the entire team at the Bear Paw and Jellystone Campground for where we actually held the mini itself was. They were phenomenal on that. And then the other shout out is to the Northern Lights drone show that put on that epic drone show for our attendees the first night. So
that was pretty awesome.
Yeah,
definitely.
I think cool. Kyle had posted some videos of that. I don't know if you guys had a chance to see that, or if it's made its rounds or not, though. But he did a great job for capturing all of that as well.
Yeah, Kyle did a crazy good video. He posted in the VF Light Show page. That thing was awesome. That was super cool.
Yeah, I don't know how he had time to do all of that with his presentations and just enjoying the mini itself, but that guy had cameras all over the place and was editing, on the fly. So he awesome guy.
So I know you were kind of behind the scenes and kind of like probably running around with your head cut off during the mini the whole time and not actually getting to go to classes and stuff. But what classes you think you had that was like people probably learned the most from?
You know, I'd like to think that they learned that our attendees learned something from every one of those courses or sessions that we had out there. So we tried to pick some unique topics, you know, and we also polled all of our members of our Frozen Mini group to understand what it is that they wanted to learn about, and some of the developers actually did a further poll to our group just to understand, okay, what level of context or depth of context do they want in their session there. So so when we had the session on the whole remote Falcon piece, you know, he went and asked everybody's like, how detailed do you want? Do you want a beginner's piece? Do you want a little bit more advanced in understanding some of the more features and things like that? So so I think that was a really nice touch that he did in trying to tailor his presentation for the audience and what their interests were. And then I think a lot of the other ones that I thought was a good standout was some of our panel discussions we had. So we had one with Chris Moss from Great Christmas Light Fight Show. So she ran a Christmas Light Fight little panel discussion with David Peace and Brett Foyer, who were all former members, and Brett being on the show last season. And that gave a lot of good insight because we had some members in our group there that are interested in being on that show. So they gave them a little bit more insight and reachability to the whole process and understanding like that. So I think some of those panel discussions I thought were very interesting.
Nice.
And gave the audience opportunities to ask questions as well, you know, interact. And it's not just you sit and watch it, you participate in it.
Yeah, the panel discussions I've been on quite a few of those over the years, and the Light Fight one is always a good one with especially when you have Light Fight casting people there to answer like all the questions that either the people were on the show forgot or they changed the rule.
Yeah. So that I think those were probably our favorite ones, at least my personal favorites of the session there.
Nice.
So did you have any, I guess, learning experiences? Did you have any aha moments that you want to incorporate for next year's Frozen? What do you have in store for it?
Well, I think we're gonna. I guess the learnings, other than the ones that I had mentioned earlier, I'd like to work it through where we've got more room for vendors, you know, so that there's more space that they can have, you know, either more table set up or, you know, have other areas. And because the other learning from last year, what we did was we moved all of the vendors out of the main session hall. So we didn't want to have the attendees, you know, be interrupted or lose their focus on the presenter, right? I mean, it's kind of rude to have any background noise and distractions if you're out there presenting. So we moved the vendors out, and then that allowed them to have that one-on-one time more so with the attendees, and then also kept the room more focused on for those that were given the sessions. So that worked out, I thought, better. I think we're going to try to find a way to get more table space out there, or, you know, expand. We're, you know, kind of moving around, you know, working around a couple ideas on that piece as well. But I think that's the biggest thing. I mean, because we love our vendors. I mean, right? If it isn't for you guys developing and designing all this cool technology and ideas like that, I mean, we really wouldn't have a display. I mean, we'll be honest on that. So so we value the vendors. We consider them as partners and sponsors of all of this. So we want to do them right, and put them in that spotlight there and connect them to the members of our area or our group.
Yeah, no, I'm not speaking for all vendors and stuff too, but sometimes at minis, we just need one table. Because we like to participate in the minis. At least I do. you know.
Well,
You
if
know?
you're traveling, you don't really
Yeah.
have the opportunity to. I mean, you only have so much you can cram in your carry-on
Yeah,
bag too.
exactly. You know, a suitcase
But-
fits well on one table.
Yes. But you could also ship the things to our,
Yeah,
to
yeah.
our mini,
Mhm.
and then we'll have that there for you. So you
Yeah.
know, if you want a big elaborate display, then we can work with you on that, JR.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know if I need more big elaborate displays in multiple locations. I'm gonna have to get a box fan and just travel the summer.
There you go. Well, see, if we could work the Minnesota in with the Frozen, then it's like side by side, and it's just a road trip, straight across I-80. So
Yeah, just
that wouldn't be
caravan
bad
it.
at all. Yeah, it'd be great.
Get them all in order, please. Just one
Yeah.
weekend after another. We'll make it like NASCAR. Me and Brian will go in a toy hauler everywhere.
Road trip
There
and,
you go.
and document it all on YouTube.
Yeah. Yeah.
Especially with camping. Oh.
Oh yeah, with Brian's new hobby of fishing and camping, his son will be with us too.
See, Brian,
Oh,
this is
yeah.
right up your alley then.
Yep. Heck yeah. That'd be
Bring your
perfect.
camper, or you can rent a cabin, or you can actually do camping in a tent there. And we're able to offer reduced rates on the camping experiences as well, and tie that in with the mini. So
Nice.
So I'm gonna go a little sidetrack off the questions we sent you here.
I don't even know where you've been on the question.
I know,
No,
Brian.
you're good.
You're halfway. Your cheeks are blurred into your background right now, anyway. So I don't know where you are anyhow.
he's dreaming about fishing right now and camping.
Your location
Man.
is super unique. Tell us a little bit about it. I don't think a lot of people understood that it's literally at a campground and stuff like that, and like how that all worked out. Because your location is awesome.
Oh, thank you. So it, so some of the earlier minis, when they were hosted there, they were being organized and led by individuals that had connections or tie-ins, that actually worked at that Jellystone campground there. And so they were able to make that unique connection. But it wasn't until, I would say, last year, when really Dalen and I, we were kind of inquiring about it, because we both have about a 2-hour drive to get there from our houses. He's just coming from the north, I'm coming from the south. And then we just kind of asked about it. It's like, what about camping? I mean, maybe we could bring in our family, right? And then allow them to camp, have like a mini vacation there, because it's Jellystone campground, so they're synonymous for family fun and activities there. So it's full of camping opportunities. They've got all the playgrounds and the play sets there. They've got other activities, with Yogi Bear and all that stuff. So it's built for families. And we're like, well, if we're sitting in the room for a day talking about lights, I mean, the kids are going to be bored otherwise, or the wives, are not going to be wanting us to leave them with the kids this whole time and try to figure out what to do, how to entertain them. So bringing them to Jellystone and being able to take advantage of that is just seemed like it was a perfect opportunity. And then our families, in the process of that, became close friends, and the kids, all of our children's, they run off and they have fun. They've got, if you look up on their websites, they're tied in with the Bear Paw Adventure Park. So the Adventure Park's got rope climbing. It's got I believe it's the largest inflatable obstacle course on the lake.
Nice.
So you have the kids running out there. I mean, I tried it. It was really embarrassing, but it was good. I mean, the water was cold, but I just kept falling off, and all these kids were just running around the whole time, just climbing and jumping off of off the inflatables there. But there's so much to see and do there. So it just kind of just came full circle that it was just a great family opportunity there. And so we were pushing the camping aspect this year, and we ended up having a good number of the attendees come out and camp with us. So then that opened up other opportunities, right? So you have other attendees camping, then you can have some other social events. You can do some cookouts, campfires, things like that. So it just kind of evolved.
That sounds awesome. So I don't have one of these campgrounds, right? So do they have like cabins and stuff too?
They do. So
Okay.
you can have a cabin. You can do some glamping. You know, it's really nice. I mean, we'll send you some links and get you all signed up for next year. Then
Nice. That sounds pretty cool. That sounds really cool.
I was going to bring up glamping, but Jared, I just had this conversation.
Well, you can bring your cabin or your RV if you want. So,
and now I feel dumb though too, because I was like, oh, I know about the Frozen Mini, but it wasn't you that was talking to me at the Trans Worlds and stuff like that. It was the guy who has the connection with the campground. Sorry, there's a lot of minis, and I get confused.
Oh, that's
with who's in charge of what, you know.
I'm known as other names as well at times, so that's no worries. I just go with it. So
yeah, sorry about that, but yeah, but
fine.
to be honest, the Frozen Mini beforehand was just something I heard about, but like you turned it into something where I was like, fuck, sucks, I missed that. So good job, Bill, and your team that you.
Yeah, it's a team effort there. So
yeah.
And I didn't want to make you feel bad about it or nothing.
No, it's fine. It's fine. You can call me out when I make mistake. This is why it's called the professional triers.
not the doers, right? We try.
Yeah, exactly. We're just trying.
Very cool. So go on. I'm sorry.
No, the camping aspect of it, that sounds really cool.
Yeah, you said the magic word with the lake, so that's awesome.
And that's the lake that they did the drone show
over,
right?
Yeah, there's a whole beachfront area in the lake there.
Are those lights that went with it always there? Or was that just set up for the Mini?
So the lights around the perimeter of the beach area, the pond, the lake area, that's up year round. So they have a sizable display that they run Wednesdays and Saturday nights at the campground, and then they do a big display for Christmas season.
Cool.
And they do a whole bunch of so it's all X lights and pixels. They got moving heads, spark machines, foggers, everything else. But the whole show though, when they do the drone shows, is synchronized with the drones as well, with the music.
That's awesome.
Yeah, very cool.
That was very cool.
So what was? Oh, are you want to go? Yeah, you want to make it a one-man show again? What do you want to do? I got to interrupt him when I try to get my parts in. So,
well, he takes so long to talk. I figure he's not going to.
Well, I didn't want to interrupt. I'm always interrupting because I
you can just mute me. I don't care. I'm fine. I can just babble. The house is quiet right now. I don't know where. I think the kids are all outside playing right now, so they're not interrupting me.
Go ahead, Brian.
Go. That's perfect. So, who was your favorite person to finally meet that came out there?
That's a tough one because I have a list of everybody that did come out that I finally got to meet, and I was kind of like starstruck. I mean, it was, they have all these titans that you see online and you've chatted with there, but
they could be like your top, all your favorite people. So.
So I got to meet Jason Sisk. All right, so he came out there, and that guy was just talented. Trying to understand how he designs and figured all these things out with his 3D prints and designs. Jordan was another starstruck. David Peace came out. I've worked with him on a few things, and we in the background there, and it was nice to finally meet him. And David Henry was there, another Titan there, got to meet him. And then, Minor Mendoza was out. So he's been out to some of our previous minis as well. But it was still nice to see him and hear about his new products and his launches. And then Christian Loss was out there from Great Christmas Light Fight. So, I mean, I was kind of like starstruck. I mean, it's just, getting to meet people for the first time, and seeing you guys in the interactive form right now is nice too. So,
well, you had my favorite person there, Mr. Jordan Nash.
Oh yeah,
eventually
the guy's awesome.
I'm going to get the Jordan Nash Spider-Man song in my little soundboard here. Because if you say Jordan Nash right, it will sound like the Spider-Man song. And then we do that every time we stay around.
Oh,
So, yeah,
nice.
everybody knows Gordon's gonna get it now. He's gonna be mad at me. What was like the biggest laugh you had all weekend?
That's a hard question. Was that on my list that I was supposed to review before joining this, or let me see here?
Funniest, most unexpected thing happened. So yeah, it was on your list.
Yeah, you know, I don't know if it was funny though, but I mean, we had issues where I think well, we were trying the night before, you know, so we were able to get into the to the lodge, you know, Friday night, you know, to start doing some of the initial setup there. But and so prior to that, we were going to have a nice little barbecue get together with some of the other campers that were staying there. And it halfway through it just started downpouring unexpectedly, and so we kind of had to move picnic tables into the trailer that we brought out there to bring some of our supplies and goodies in. And so half of the party was in the trailer, the other half was in our cabin, and it wasn't ideal, but you know, we just had fun with it, and we just went along with it, and
it worked.
It was a mud hole afterwards. So you know, I mean, what are you gonna do? I mean, it's just
Adapt and overcome. So
yeah.
So well, that kind of lead me into the late night chaos. Holy
well, yeah,
cow,
he
now I
covered
can't
that
talk.
one, Brian.
Yeah.
So, 'cause I'm sitting there thinking, you know, you all are having some adult beverages around the fire and stuff like that. But if it was downpouring that first night, then that probably put a damper on that. So
Yeah, it led up. It was enough just to ruin that part of the night, but then it led up so then we could still get everything moved into the lodge and start doing the setup, because we had a couple of vendors that we were meeting with as well that they wanted to get a head start on that setup. So it all worked out, but it was just messy.
Very cool.
But it's camping life, I guess.
Oh yeah.
So right now, towards the end of talk about the Frozen Mini, I heard you have the date for next year.
We do. So we have actually already started planning for next year. But our right now we're officially the Frozen Mini 2026 is going to be from June 6th to the 7th of next year. So we have not announced that yet to our group. So if there's anybody listening right now, surprise! No, that's that'll be our dates for Frozen Mini 2026.
Nice. We're gonna put that on the event calendar and try to make that one work at least.
I'll be hounding you for this. So
yeah,
as long as I don't lose my notebook again, I have it written down. So I'm old school. I like a notebook.
That's fine.
I lose them sometimes.
So before we have you go, is there anybody you want to thank for helping you out and making this mini happen and stuff like that, or anything you want to add?
No, I risk repeating myself with all the shadows from earlier there. So, but I mean, all those guys and gals were instrumental in putting this together and helping with the whole chaos, as you had called it earlier. So, chaos coordinator. But we did it. You know, we're not burnt out by that, so we're ready to do it again next year.
Nice.
So we appreciate all the support from our vendors and the attendees and everything. So, I mean, it was an amazing experience and couldn't have happened without everybody's support like that.
Yeah, and it looked good online afterwards, so that was good. Made me jelly. I couldn't go, so we'll
next
try to
year.
make it
next year you can make it. So
for sure,
definitely.
So thanks, Bill. We really appreciate it, and
thank
good
you.
luck with planning next year.
All right, thanks, guys.
All right, looking forward to it. Thanks, Bill.
Yep.
All right, Brian.
That is cool.
I'm jelly of that, and it's got your
I know, right?
Everything.
I didn't realize it was at a campground or anything until after it was already over.
You weren't quite into your fishing then, so
well,
you would probably be like, "Hey, I want to go to that mini."
It's all Well, my son was a little slow on the draw this year, so
it is a 2 mini episode. So now it is time for this one. And I'm putting their logo up right now
out east
because I totally forgot to put the Frozen Mini logo up. But he had it on the background, so it worked. So I had them both ready. But you want to introduce everybody, Brian?
I can. I'm going to bring up Mr. Martin because he's the one I've been talking to the most. And
Hello.
then he also is bringing in Andy. So I got, look at that. It's going all kinds of fancy now. And
technology is hard for Brian.
I know it's crazy. It just blows my mind every time. Martin, what's happening? Welcome, guys.
Hey, how are you?
Well,
I don't know how
hello.
we're gonna beat the drone show, though.
Yeah, no, we're not going to be doing
You guys set us up for failure right at the beginning. You put a drone show right there. How I'm gonna beat that, right?
Hey, I'm sorry that we put the drone show before you.
Well,
but
you know what? I mean, it gives you room to grow. I mean, this is your guys' first year.
Yeah.
It sounds like
Yeah.
it was extremely successful. Holy cow. I'm living on about 4 hours of sleep.
Yeah, Brian can't handle his new fishing hobby. So who did you guys bring with you also? Because Brian left 2 other people in the waiting room.
Alex,
I did.
Alex and Nick.
Alex
were they?
Nick, yeah.
Oh my gosh, dude. Guys, you were down another page. I am so sorry. You get them up there?
I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think we need
there we
6
go.
spots. There we go.
There you go.
Yo,
All right, Nick, and
We screw the bubbles. I like the bubbles more than the squares.
I
Sorry.
don't know. We can't bubble everybody. That's
You can't
why.
bubble it.
yeah.
Yeah. Sorry. Then
All I have is
straight
Jake. There we
Yeah.
go.
We don't know what we're doing. But you guys apparently knew what you're doing for your mini. For the first time event, like, it looked super successful online. Now, I wasn't able to make it, but it looked good. So that's
I think
bonus
it went
points right there.
Yeah, I think it went very well for our first mini. I think we did good.
I mean, each of us brought our strengths. So I think as a group, we meshed really well, and we worked really well to prepare for And even though none of us did this before, we actually I think we were very successful.
Nick, you have a very loud typewriter. I think that's louder than
It's not
mine.
a typewriter. It's a keyboard, Brian. How old are you?
Oh my god!
A typewriter.
Apologies.
Keyboard. Oh my god! All right, I'm out.
All right, Brian cannot
That's it.
operate without sleep. This is crazy.
I gotta go fishing again. All right.
Cool thing
I
is
mean, we did plan. Unfortunately, we couldn't have one last year when we tried to. The just timing didn't work out. So we did have quite a bit of time to prepare, but then we had a mishap. We were going to have it early in the year on an event. That didn't happen. So then we had to rush and make this happen. But it turned out really good.
Yeah, I was sad I missed it after seeing the pictures online. And then also hearing all you guys talk about it when we were at the East Coast Christmas show, I was like, damn, I want to go to that. But
that's when we just announced we were going to have one, was East Coast Christmas show. So we've only planned it since then.
Yeah.
It was initially supposed to be at that same time, and it got squashed. And so we said, we got to find a place. We got to do this. And it turned out, I think total count was 48 when we were done.
That's not bad for
That's
the
first bad at all. Heck yeah.
That's not bad at all.
In 2 months, right?
In 2 months, right?
2 months planning from A to Z, and and we also had couple cancellations, so we were shooting for that 50 mark, and if it wouldn't be for the cancellations, we would have had that. But I think for the first year, that's very reasonable number.
Oh, yeah, 48.
Yeah, heck yeah.
Is a really I've been to some minis where there's like 12 of us, so 48 on your first year, that's pretty impressive.
Yep.
So, how tired are you guys from this?
Very.
Yeah,
you had 1 day to rest, pretty much. So,
no, we had no day to rest. We did on Sunday and had to work yesterday and today. And
I guess. No real rest.
I just did not realize until yesterday morning when I couldn't move. I'm like, why can't I move? Why is it so hard to do anything?
Yep, I woke up yesterday. My back was killing. I'm like, I'm not doing anything. I'm staying in.
You shouldn't be here. You should be in the Zoom room.
Yeah.
And that's funny. Mark said that. That's how we all met and got here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
From being helpers in the Zoom room, in the X-Lite Zoom room.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. Like, I think I mentioned that a little bit on the pre-show, which I felt so bad that I thought you guys were like another 2 weeks out, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna get them on, and then we'll talk about the mini, right? And then Brian brought it up that it's like, he's like, no, it's this Sunday. I was like, oh shit. I was like, and then Brian's like, I could go on right now. I was like, okay, cool. You know all about it.
Yeah, no, Brian did a great job.
Yeah.
He messaged me. I jumped in and listened to it. Yeah, he did a great job.
But like I was talking about that is all the, like, not going to discredit any other mini, but I don't know a mini that is organized by Zoom room helpers. Like, you have the most knowledgeable people putting this mini on. Like, I don't think I've been to a mini that's had more than like 2 Zoom room helpers at it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But to have you guys run it, like, that's pretty impressive. And like,
and we all live within about an hour of each other. Hour and a half apart. Yeah.
So for all the people that make it to the mini, I mean, we make ourselves available to them locally as well. So, you know, I mean, great resource at their fingertips and within their reach. So if someone is joining us and you know, joining us with the festivities and networking with us, they do have access to a lot of knowledge.
Yeah, that's very cool. So I want to know how it worked out. I mean, Martin, we've already talked about it, how it worked out to be on a Sunday, but how did that work out for you guys for doing it on a Sunday? Because, you know, if it's a 2-day event, Saturday, Sunday, you know, but this was a 1-day event, started late in the morning, I think Sunday, and then went into Sunday afternoon. So how did that work out for you guys?
I think it worked out pretty well. We were a little bit afraid of that because, you know, it's Sunday. People have plans. People have work next day, but I think it worked out very well. And it originally the date came as something that we didn't expect because we couldn't find a place at that short notice that would have availability for Saturday. So that part was, you know, not our kind of a first choice, right? But I think it worked out very well.
And the place that we found was affordable because we didn't know what was going to happen. So we wanted to sit back and just, you know, it was really going to be the 3 or 4 of us and have to foot the bill for a room that nobody showed up to. So we said, let's find something affordable that can hold that many people. And that's where we found the community center.
Yeah.
And they really helped us out, but they were only available Sundays afternoons because they have church in the morning and they have somebody that reserves it all days every Saturday.
And we're locked out too, right? Because originally we were supposed to get a smaller room downstairs. So we were able to get in a little bit earlier and set up upstairs in a larger room.
Yeah, we would have had
that worked
a lot
out.
of problem.
Yeah, so many people, right? We didn't expect that.
Yeah, we didn't realize they're going to be like, oh my gosh, we're still
But it wasn't that too. I mean, we talked about, right? Like the large round tables, right, took a lot of space, right? And once you put those out with the displays and what everybody brought to show and stuff, right? And the food and snacks, there was really barely any room.
Yeah.
Right. And we had the stage too, right? That we put the projector on. So it wasn't like, but yeah, it's amazing how much big of a room you need for like 40, 50 people. I couldn't imagine what you need for 100.
So and originally when we started planning, right? We you know, from the get-go we said, well, we're gonna chip in for the room and it's gonna be 4 of us spending a Sunday afternoon together. So, you know, it's it's gonna be a 4 party, right?
Yeah. A minimum you had 4 people. At least that was a bigger start than most minis because they're usually one guy. So
well, and then we hit, you know, where I finally met you, JR, and Brian at the East Coast Christmas show, and that's where it took off.
Yeah, you guys.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Anything, not gonna lie, anything Zoom room helpers do, like, I'm gonna try to support it as much as possible. So if any Zoom room guys like, I'm gonna make a mini, I'm gonna be like, whatever you need. Same thing with you guys next year.
Thank you.
Thank you. Because obviously you need a bigger place that's available longer, right? So let me know once you figure that out. We'll help make that happen for you guys.
Awesome.
It didn't take us long to start talking about the next year. So even though we were tired yesterday we already had conversations.
Well, how could you not? After I saw the photo, there was a lot of people there, and they all looked pretty excited about it.
And that photo was taken at the very end, where some people actually left earlier.
Yeah.
Really?
And
Wow.
that photo was taken multiple times because the first we all set up, and it's like, I don't hear anything on the camera, the little thing, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, it's fine. And then we all disperse. It's like, yeah, the camera didn't work. Everybody get back in.
Well, and the thing is too, is your timing, because you were later on a Sunday. I imagine there was people that couldn't go because of that.
Yes.
So that was, other than that, I feel like this could be pretty big for you guys.
Yeah.
And experience from the East Coast Christmas show.
When we started talking about this, I don't know, Alex and I, maybe 2 years ago total, we started talking about it, and it didn't work out last year. We were talking about, can we make it bigger? Can we do something? Because there's nothing in this area. There's no mini. If we want to travel, we got to travel. If we want something of size, where in the future that yes, maybe vendors can come and do something. And now East Coast Christmas show, so we're gonna have to work that out. But when do you do this? Because you're not going to want to go there and then come back 2 weeks later to a mini for us.
What do you mean now? What do you mean? What do you mean future? I'm having sponsors next year.
Yeah. Oh no. It turned out very well.
I'm having a vendor hallway next year.
Yep.
I'm down. So, what did you guys have for setup and stuff? Because we saw some photos, but then some people didn't. There wasn't a lot that everybody saw yet. You know what I mean?
You mean what displays and things?
Yeah. Did you guys have anything set up? Did you do a Florida and have a light show?
Well, we had one of the attendees brought his truss system, his stage truss, and we set up the ERle Mini trees and props of the one that they do the sample sequence to, the wipeout and best day of my life, that little sample. We set that up in the back, running the show off all the ERle props.
Nice.
We had an attendee bring his homemade fog cooler and show that off. That was really sharp.
Oh, that's cool.
We had a garage sale section. Anybody that wanted to bring their stuff and unload it, and that was a hit. A lot of people did that. That was neat. That was a great idea. And then every other table was filled with food.
From the barbecue master right here, from the competition barbecue master.
There was plenty of food to go around.
You do. Who does the competition barbecue?
I did. That was my hobby before
lights.
It just
No kidding.
I have a buddy.
You think lights take a lot of time? Try doing barbecue competition.
Yeah, I had a buddy who did that. It was the best buddy to have because he was always trying stuff. And I was like, no problem, I'll come over. That's awesome. So you had a bunch of food and stuff.
Since we had all that food on Sunday, every Sunday we're meeting at Andy's house now from now on.
Yeah. That's awesome.
We also had on the stage, because the community center has a stage, so regular projectors, speakers, and we also had a P5 panels. We actually had P5 panels scrolling through all of our sponsor logos all day long, just to thank them for their participation as well.
Yeah.
That's very cool. So on a scale from 1 to 10, and I'll try to do it, 1 I left my controller at home, or 10 I had extra controllers. I'll try to phrase it right, because there's
I screwed up, so I'm done with that.
So all in all, how did everything go? It sounded like it was a huge success.
I think it was.
It was
9.8.
Yeah.
Nice.
I mean,
the only glitch we had was audio. Between Zoom, we had Jackie from ERle zoom in and do a presentation on submodeling and render buffers and model buffers and all, which was fantastic. That was great. I learned so much in that 40 minutes that he gave that presentation. But that was the only thing. We had Zoom on one computer, audio coming from another, so we were getting feedback, and because my laptop didn't have a audio jack, so we're like, uh-oh.
Yeah, I've noticed, like, when we do the mini at sea and stuff like that, when we have people stream in, that's the only time we ever have a problem with the computer. Like, every other time it's fine until we actually need it to, like, zoom somebody in. It's like, oh, great, now it's good.
Same thing, Zoom dropped.
We had
had to call back in. Yeah,
we had that too. In the middle of Jackie's presentation, the Zoom decided to actually disconnect. Yeah.
Oh.
So, you know, we got the round of applause from everybody. Yeah. You know.
Wow.
And
the Zoom room guys are having problems with Zoom.
Yeah, and you know, and me and Andy.
Well, we don't operate Zoom. We just use it.
So we got the the mandatories. You know, something hit the fan.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well, I don't need to bring it up then, because I was going to ask what went wrong, but apparently that went wrong.
You know, so, just little things. So nothing really major. I mean, you know, beforehand, you know, like the P panel, P5 panel, Pi wouldn't display. So, but you know, we are Zoom room helpers. So yeah. we got on the laptop, and before anybody noticed or people showed up, we fixed that. So yeah. No, nothing really major. Nothing really that was you know, showstopper or anything. We had one more thing. Someone forgot the coleslaw.
Yeah, Alex.
Oh,
I brought it. My job was to bring it. Your job was to put it out.
It out. I just kept it cold for you.
There, it just didn't go out.
Right. It was on the back of the table. So of course, then I got upset because, you know, I worked on that. So then we had to call everybody back for second rounds to finish the coleslaw.
You gotta get the coleslaw, man.
But there was plenty of food, so that wasn't a problem.
And people were more than happy to go for second, so we had no problem with that.
Excellent.
So I want to ask you guys all, have your own opinion about this, but like, what class or session you guys have that you think was the best?
I think every one of them was valuable. I don't think so there was one better than the other, right? So we talked about a little bit about the new technology and stuff coming up to the market and, you know, to be available to the people. We talked a little bit about, you know, the sub models and a lot of eyes opened up when Andy and Jackie teamed up and talked about the sub models and the buffers and everything else. A lot of people, I mean, we seen that live, like people clicked and, you know, the eyes opened up and people got the knowledge and we got plenty of comments of thanking that for that presentation as well. So I think everything was, you know, valuable. I don't think so anything was like left off or less popular, put it this way.
Yeah.
And we kind of did it a little bit differently, right, than we've seen or, you know, we've attended other minis. We purposely made it to be about 15-minute presentation, about 5 minutes Q&A, and then left the rest of pretty much the hour, depending on how we're running on time, for the people to mingle, right? So those that had more interest into that topic, they would approach the speaker and they will talk, you know, conversation will continue, but then everybody else will have a chance to speak to everybody else. And I think that actually really turned out pretty good. Because I've seen that myself too, right? It's like we meet all these people, right? I travel 4 or 5 hours to go somewhere and I only get to speak to them for like 5 minutes, right? Because at the end of the day, they all pack out and leave. So I think having that time built in there, like a lot of people, you know, and everybody was up and about and talking and mingling and, you know, eating and demoing things.
And we already see that in the comments, you know, with all the pictures and the videos that are showing up on our Facebook page. We already see that in the comments that people actually made connections. Like we see guys posting to another, hey, if you're in my area, stop by, we'll grab a drink. So I think I think that's what's all about. It's all about networking and meeting new people and trying to stay in the hobby with like-minded people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Minis are all about that. And I've said that for a long time. Like when you go to a mini, guarantee you're going to leave with a friend probably for as long as you're in this hobby.
Absolutely.
Or even longer.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
definitely.
I've even gone on vacation with some light show people. I see some of my light show friends more than I see my family that lives 20 minutes away from me. You know, like when you're all like-minded people, you get along so well, and it's great. You know.
Oh, when I go out with I can call them local friends. These guys get mad. Where were you? You weren't in Zoom. Where were you? You're not allowed to go out drinking. You're not allowed to do this.
He doesn't have any friends. He just goes on Wix and like gets all like
And
stock
takes a picture
photos
and
and
keeps on.
puts them in around camping. It's like, you know,
just just jump in Zoom out one time, and then they'll ask you never to do that again. You'll be fine.
So I can close the room on them. But and we do that in the off season. I'm going to call it the off season when we're not going to have the mini. I don't know what's it been about, Alex. About every 2 months now, we've been doing like a little meet and greet at a local microbrewery.
Oh,
and
nice.
Just having whoever wants to come by, we'll meet, grab pizzas or whatever, and sit there and just chat about lights and stuff.
Oh yeah. Oh heck.
So what about Nick, who's been quiet like the whole time? What was your favorite part of the mini?
To me, the whole thing was excellent. It was the first time that I actually attended any of the minis. So this was a whole new experience to me. Unfortunately for me, with other obligations, I wasn't able to really help the guys out as much as I would have liked to. But I was able to support the group, taking care of the pack out process because I showed up a little bit later than them. And really just the presentations. I really enjoyed the presentation from Brian with the
light fight show.
The light fight show.
Christmas
Thank you.
Light fights, Brian Michael.
Right,
That was fantastic.
Yeah.
And the presentation from Jackie was awesome. Most of the other stuff, because I'm a Zoom room helper as well. I help out more during the seasonal times when things get really busy, take some of the weight off. But overall, just being present was really cool.
So this question's
very awesome.
Great for you, Nick, since it was your first mini ever. Mm-hmm. Who was the favorite person you finally got to meet?
Actually, one of the other Zoom roomers was. And I can't think of his full name right now, but it's Matt. Yeah.
Choo-choo Matt.
Matt Choo-choo.
Yeah, Matt Mello. Yeah.
Nice. Wait, so how many Zoom room helpers did you actually have there?
5 or 6?
I
think 6.
Wow. 6. Steve from PA was there.
Steve
Matt.
PA was there. Yeah.
Yeah, and then us, right?
Yeah. I think that's a record. I don't think the Florida Mega Mini even gets that many. I'm sure Tom's going to chime in and be like, "Yeah, we do."
Well, that's because we were there attending.
Yeah.
That's right. You broke it too.
Yeah.
I think the other thing that was really cool was the fact that between all of us, just the 4 of us, the amount of time in the hobby collectively is really immense. I've been doing this since 2013. I think Andy and Alex have been in since 2020. Just the overall amount of knowledge between the whole crew of us is amazing. We had people asking questions going back to LOR and Renard controllers. So there's a lot of knowledge that we were able to help people out with.
That's awesome.
Wow, that is really cool.
And we
we
had people from total, like one lady was just thinking about going into animated shows, that she has a static display. So we had people from just starting to people that were in this, like, for 12, 13, 15 years.
That's awesome.
Wow.
Yeah, that's cool.
That
For your
so
first
cool.
time having first timers, that's a big thing.
Yeah.
A lot of first time minis, you get like all the guys from Facebook go, but to get first timers to come to your first one, That's impressive, guys. That's cool.
We had the one person that was totally first timer, and we had couple others which are within a year of starting. So I don't know if they had a show yet or it's their first year this year. But yeah, so we had people that just started.
Yeah, and they picked a good mini to go to with all the Zoom room helpers. Now they actually know the person they're going to beg for help for at busy season.
Hey, do you remember me? I was at your mini.
Yeah.
Oh, that's it. We were teasing a lot of them.
Yeah.
A lot of the guys that come in Zoom for help, they're like, "Oh, finally good to put the face to the name." They see our avatar on Zoom or whatever. But
I actually,
like, oh yeah, you're the one that broke this, or and they're surprised we remember who they are. Or,
I actually had one guy come up and introduce himself to me, and I'm like, okay, and he says, "Oh, you helped me a lot of times in Zoom." I'm like, holy crap, should I hide now or not? I mean, I don't know if it's good or bad.
What do I break? Do we fix it? Because we break things before we fix.
Oh, that is awesome. So I kind of want to know, I mean, you guys had a huge success first year. Where do you see the ERle going for the next dozen years?
Well, we definitely thinking about growing, right? We already started talking about next year. We definitely planning to expand next year. I think we proved to anybody and everybody that was doubting us that we can do it.
I don't think there was any doubt anywhere.
Yeah.
But
there was.
There was.
There was.
After the show.
We got the message. We got the messages. Yeah, we got the
There
messages.
was quite a few doubters we have from another group.
So I think we proved that we can do it, and we have the power and we have the willingness to do it. So next year we definitely going bigger, right? We definitely expecting a lot more people joining. We are already talking about dates and places. We thinking about doing separate classes versus the main hall. So we have ideas.
Very cool.
Yeah, heck yeah. And I'm blown away that you would have had doubters. So that surprises the crap out of me. I'm a little appalled. I can't believe that. So I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I wear my emotions on my sleeve, and that just upsets the crap out of me. So.
I guess some people find a joy in being a keyboard warrior, and we gladly accepted the challenge. Though it's
Well, I'm glad you guys.
It took us a year longer than we wanted, right? Yeah. It took us a year longer than we had planned last year. It didn't work out, so that kind of gave them some ammo. Like, oh, where's your big mini? Where's your
Yeah.
And we're like, it's coming. It's
coming.
Yeah.
I think besides the mini too, one of the things, we're growing the community, right? That's why we're able to get so many. So just like we said, I think we're going to do at least a quarterly meeting that we're going to meet, just like we've been doing, right? Around different parts of the state. So people who'd come in. Not everyone's going to make it every time, except the four of us. It's mandatory, right? But
just do that line in the stand.
It has been spoken.
Just to get that personal touch, to get everybody to know each other, and just help each other, right? So that way it's not just once a year when you come in and things like that. So we really want to grow the community and not make it a quarterly mini, right, per se, but just like really become a group.
Just the meet and greets, right? Just a little pop-ups.
And it also adds to the effectiveness of the group to be able to get input from all of the different people who are in the area. I had mentioned after the mini was that it would be nice to get more people in the group involved in the planning portion and the setup and whatnot, because I think that we all underestimated severely how long it takes to set up and take down the show. I think that Andy actually brought his entire house with him, so packing that back out, that was I was surprised that they brought all of that stuff in.
That truck was full.
Oh yeah. Next year, rent a cargo van.
You'll get better.
Next year, I'll
at
need
it.
a trailer.
You'll get better at it. Brian knows. It's like setting up our trade show booth.
His wife at home. His wife at home was definitely missing some of the spoons and forks.
Oh, he brought the whole kitchen too.
Yeah.
Food.
Oh,
yeah.
he brought everything in the kitchen sink.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What? Better have it and not need it than need it and not have it.
Like tablecloths.
Yeah.
Like yeah.
Yeah.
That was
So
our big
maybe we
downfall.
did screw something up. I
$10?
forgot about that.
Right, $10 at the yeah. There's Dave. No tablecloths. Yep. Okay.
Well, Dave, you're supposed to bring them. I don't know.
Yeah.
We
Yeah, we were
actually-
sending him out on the mission, and he.
We
failed,
actually
so.
tried to send Dave on the mission to like a local store for tablecloths, and we looked.
Find the
We
dollar
looked on
store,
Google.
you
We
know.
couldn't find anything local.
Yeah. The whole thing, $10.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything local in Chesterfield.
No, yeah.
So I do have an ask for you guys. If you guys are going to do your little dinners, meetings, could we have one before the East Coast next year?
Yeah.
Because I would love to go
Absolutely.
hang out with you guys.
Oh, absolutely.
And do dinner with everybody who was your regulars. I think
Oh,
that
yeah,
would be
definitely.
fun.
Yeah, we could set that up for like one of the one of the Friday night things.
Yeah, or
Thursday night thing.
Yeah,
or
whenever you guys and most of those people get in town.
Yeah, I'm an hour and a half from the convention center.
Yeah,
so that's not bad at all.
Yeah, we're all pretty close. Yeah, I'm within an hour or two.
Yeah, so if you could schedule
Except
one of
for
your,
Nick. Nick add another hour to that because he lives way up there.
It's not bad.
It's okay. It almost took me an hour to get to our Airbnb that we booked, so we're not going to stay there next year. But it was cool.
But that was a cool Airbnb. Ron showed me the picture, right? So maybe it was worth.
Yeah, but it did. We were kind of away from the party, which kind of sucked. You know,
Right.
so.
Yeah.
And that's
We
part
had
of
a
the
good party. The Friday night
Shane
dinner
Dabbs.
at East Coast with Shane Dabbs and him. That was cool with Brian. You know,
Yeah.
Brian Michael was there, and I brought Dan Culp as my date. And
I had Dan Culp as my date for was that Sunday, Brian? We went to the escape room and stuff.
oh yeah, when you were
Oh,
at the
yeah,
at the,
yeah.
we saw you at the dinner.
Oh yeah, we saw you at the restaurant before when we were walking out.
before we were on
Yeah.
our way out with Dan. Yeah.
Yeah. So anything that made you guys laugh real hard? Either you screwed up or just like it was
Tablecloths.
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 Yep.
That an East Coast thing? You got to have a tablecloth.
Well, it's just they were the big round plywood table. Yeah. It was
Oh,
just-
okay.
Oh.
Yeah.
So
they
the dollar
needed a
store
tablecloth.
sells those plasticky paper tablecloths, and we would
So
have
is that on the top of
$10
the
all
list
in
for
and
next
look
year?
better, right?
Although we don't know of anybody getting hurt, so maybe we actually don't need them. Maybe we're adults enough that we actually need them.
I will say that when I was putting the tables away, I did get a splinter, but I wasn't going to cry about it.
Well, the tablecloth we don't have help to bend anyway.
Yeah, pick it up.
Been on
Buttercup.
there. Gloves. Always use gloves.
I've gotten worse setting up Christmas lights.
Yeah.
We didn't realize the table situation because in the picture from the hall there was totally different setup, and when we arrived the tables that were available to us were the big round tables for like events, like weddings and parties like that.
Yeah.
So we didn't
wow.
know they were not the
Yeah.
the regular rectangular plastic tables that
It's
that
okay.
were-
I don't think anybody's really judging you for not having tablecloths.
Yeah, no. I mean,
Well,
they
I
were
saw
saying
a
about
but
comment.
we are
chair
we
tables.
are hard on
I don't-
ourselves. So.
I don't mind the round table. These were just big ones, because it lets people across the table talk to each other.
Yeah.
You know, everyone can sit around and they can turn their chair to see what's going on stage. But it promotes that people talking across the table to somebody they got to
Yep.
make eye contact with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially when you sit down and eat with somebody and you can have a
Yep.
conversation, you end up getting a much better relationship with the people at your tables than you would at a regular look at the front stage table.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, very cool.
Yeah,
That worked.
we had a few. I don't know if you call them not old timer, X-Lights guys that put on shows, but people that put on big shows. And the people with the little shows were like, "I know you, your house. I watch all your videos." And that was Mark Jonke from Canewood's Christmas House, and he came up. And people were like, "Oh wow, I see all your watch your videos. They're fantastic." And we had a few like that. And
Yeah, Brian
Michael
Michaels.
with his.
I mean,
Brian Michael,
you
that
cannot
was-
be the winner of 2023, right?
Yeah.
There he is.
Yeah. And there he is. He's like, now the tables have barbecue flavor on them. So
we left our mark, Brian.
yeah.
That's awesome.
So before we end this today, was there anybody there for all of you that you were just super excited to meet?
No, I was already there.
Wow.
That is perfect.
Oh, that's perfect.
That's awesome.
No, I can't say anybody specific. It was just nice to meet really all of the people in the area.
Yeah.
I mean, and to be honest too, right? Like I said, we pretty much met a lot of, maybe half the room had already met at one point or another.
Yeah.
Right. Whether it was at the East Coast, right, where we met the Norris family, or us, right? We met before, and a lot of the regulars too that are attending, right? So there are some new people, right? People that I've never met, right? But I think we're kind of already like a close group in a way.
Very cool.
And highlight of the day, you get to hold the trophy that Brian brought. So
yeah, that was kind of cool. That was like that was a big selfie thing.
I thought it was
got
like
to take
the
the
Stanley
picture.
Cup, though. Like you don't touch it.
That's exactly what they thought it was. Yeah.
You know,
we actually distracted him, so he was looking the other way, and we took the turn. So
you pass it around.
No, he was cool. He was cool about it. So yeah, that was pretty cool. For us, light enthusiasts, it's kind of a big deal or something that we know about, right? So it's cool. It's cool to hold it.
Yeah, and Mr. Winner, since I lost the light fight, he's on his show tonight. He'll have a YouTube video of all the film and everything he took from your event.
Looking
From
forward
our mini,
to that,
it's
Brian.
7:00 on his YouTube channel. He goes live with his all the videos and pictures he took.
The librarian show,
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, everyone gets to hold it and take a photo?
Yeah, you didn't let JR hold it.
I'm going to pass on that. I'm a little bitter. No, I'm just playing. It's not like he beat me. If he beat me, then that would be a different story. But he wasn't on my ear. He probably would have beat me anyways, though. That's...
Wow.
Sorry. This is Brian's message, and then this is Tom's. So, anybody you guys want to thank that helped you out besides the four of you guys, or?
Oh, we have a big list. We have a big list of people. To thank.
Huge list of sponsors. Yeah.
We got, amazing 39 sponsors for ERle Mini.
Nice.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I don't know why Nick didn't mention that he was happy of giving away those prizes. He was the one in charge of giving out the certificates for all the prizes. So
the walking around the room.
We are but in all seriousness, we are extremely grateful for all of our sponsors. Everybody.
Name them. I have no problem with you naming everybody that helped you guys out. They helped you out. They need the credit for giving you guys a hand.
I'm ready. So
let's go for it.
Experience lights, showstopper sequences, Culp lights, Wasatch lights, Wally's lights, Wired Watts, Visionary light shows, Falcon controllers, Blinky sequences, Pixel Perfect sequences, Magical light shows, BF light shows, Boscoyo, EFL designs, North Hills Farm, Your Pixel Store, RGB sequences, RGB to go, SFL designs, Dancing Lights design, Wizard of Wire, little place called Matos.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I never heard of them, but yeah, they're pretty good too. Matos Designs, Lights and Avi, GE, Gilbert Engineering, PPD, Lightorama, Vivid Sequences, Inspired Light Shows, Charlie's Props, Innovative Sequences, Rose Place Holiday Lights, Fairy Pixel Dust, LOE Sequences, Pixel Now, Jolly Jingle Sequences, OG Sequences, Extreme Sequences, Custom Christmas Creations, Sequence Solutions, and I probably missed one or two.
EFL?
EFL I did mention. Big thanks to EFL.
Yeah. Well, I should have just asked you who didn't sponsor you. Jeez.
That would have probably been a shorter list.
Yeah.
Right.
That's for a first year. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
That is very impressive. That
But
is
I think that
awesome,
has
and
a lot
thank
to
you
do
all of
with
them.
what you guys do for the community on a regular basis. Like, you guys, we can't thank you enough for being Zoom room helpers and doing what you guys do and dealing with some of the people that go into the Zoom room, and we appreciate that. And that right there with all those sponsors, they're appreciating what you guys do too. You know?
And sorry about being the annoying one, but reminding everybody to
Remind him. He does that well.
And that is true. You know, we recognize that that's why we got all the support, but we also appreciate it, right? And we do this for fun. We do because we like it, right? We do because we enjoy seeing all these people, you know, the happiness that they get when they get the things working, right? And we really much appreciate, you know, everyone supporting us and making it be what it was, right? So
yeah, you guys did a
you
great
and
job.
everybody else for helping us be so successful.
Yeah, you guys did a great job for your first year. Congrats on a great event.
Thank you.
I can't wait for next year. I'm gonna try to squeeze that in. I've been saying that a lot, so I gotta get a new airline card. Or
So I think we have to tell you a week in advance so you don't get the weeks mixed up, and we have to tell Minor like a day or two because his flight is always
We're
delayed.
gonna
So
tell Minor show
we're gonna
up
push
the day before.
right. So that way he's
a private flight just to make sure he gets there in time.
No, he'll get that rescheduled too. So we need to get him like a day before.
we're leaving on a Friday. Be here Thursday. We're all good.
We'll make it work.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Brian, I'm not gonna blame Brian, but like he's the one who deals all the minis and stuff, and people email me and I lose it. So I just did find an email from you guys about presenting on Zoom or talking, and I'm sorry I missed that. I didn't ignore it. I found it today.
Yeah, you're gonna have to run that through me, and then I'll remind him like I am right now.
We got the message, JR. Don't worry about it.
Yeah,
I got it.
But hey, Martin, right here, buddy. Yeah, I got you, man.
I'm all good. Me and Brian, we have a direct line now.
Yeah,
no problem whatsoever.
Yeah, Brian's
100%.
the boss. I just do what I'm told. But yeah, congrats on the mini. Thanks for being on the show.
Definitely.
Good luck
Excellent job.
on the future ones.
Thanks for your support.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Thanks again.
Yeah, thanks.
I think that's the end of the show, so we're gonna end live, and we'll see you guys all next week.
All right.
Later.
Definitely.
Thanks,
See you guys.
Thank
Thank you
you.
again.
Bye now.